I want to be where, if I get pulled over, I know I'm gonna get home safe. I still had to worry. I had to put my phone out to record a conversation with this police officer.
It's in
Nothing.
140
Right,
characters. Like it's a Twitter
Yeah.
search. Right. That's the
ah,
attention span.
That's
yeah,
That's the
it.
yeah.
attention span right now of
They feel like they should be able to go in and look however they want to look and
Mm,
still be respected.
TV, even games. But if I go right now and turn it on, not there no more. Gone. You don't see your regular lives again.
OJ said, if the glove don't fit, you must
well,
quit.
for those that are ready, let's begin the conversation. What does Black Lives Matter mean to you?
Man, honestly, now as I continue to think about it as the day goes on, a host of things. I see it as a movement. I see it as a new beginning or a fresh start to move things forward that back in the past continue to not move forward. I've seen what companies now have made different strides on, I guess, some things to make it feel better or put a little band-aid or certain things, but we want a world we're all treated equally. And that's where I see it as going to the saying where that, you know, I want to be where, if I get pulled over, I know I'm gonna get home safe. I still had to worry. I had to put my phone out to record a conversation with this police officer that's going to say something crazy or reckless, or I'm not gonna make it home. I can just be sure and say, all right, cool. I do what I need to do. I put like information for him, and I go home. That's what hopefully that we're trying to strive it to. That's what I hopefully think in my mind BLM means to me.
I feel like it's a major movement right now that's long overdue. We just want to be treated equal. We want everything to be even all the way across the board. Flip side for that, as you were stating with, I don't want it to become an opportunity. I don't want people to jump on board and BLM just because you feel like you're scared your company gonna close or you're not gonna get any more of our money if you don't put it up there. So are you doing because you really believe in it, or are you just scared that we're a major part of where your money comes from, and if you don't say something or put something up, then we're not going to support you? So is it like the support, is it really legit or just something to be doing right now? So that's just my concern with that. But I feel it's a new thing. Like I said, we just want respect all the way across the board. I'm in agreement with Derek. I'm not saying, hey, give me leeway if I break the law. No.
Right.
But don't kill me either if I'm going 10 miles over.
If you listen to the media narrative of what the BLM movement is, it's about hatred toward the law enforcement police, which neither one of the statements that you just provided talked about hating cops, right? I asked you without prompting you other than, what does it mean to you? You didn't say I hate the cops.
Right.
We didn't say I want them defunded. I'm sorry, but I want to be able to hit 911 and know somebody coming to help me.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
For them to put out this media, media campaign to say, if Biden gets into office, you're not going to have anybody come for 5 days and all that nonsense. We're like, look, really? Is anybody, believing that is going to be the reality? No, nobody wants to defund the police in the sense that you want them to go away. You just want to be able to hold the purse strings a little bit to say, we need you to look inward on your policies and practices on how you treat people based on their background. Companies branding their websites for that short period of time, because if you looked shortly after the Mr. Floyd incident, every company in the ethos had BLM support them. They had the black fist up. You got people up there with kente cloth on doing their thing, right? Beating drums on websites. Right. They were the dashiki, right? They were doing their thing on the websites.
The Wakanda style.
Right, yeah. You saw the Black Panther on pass. There was stuff like that.
And
I was excited about it for about 5 minutes because you know what? For those 5 minutes, it felt in vogue, as I use, to be black. You know, we'll use Starbucks for an example. Starbucks said at one point, yeah, you can't wear BLM buttons or any paraphernalia or anything that says BLM on in the uniform, right? Somebody put that out there in the Twitter sphere, and the next day, oh, you can wear it, no problem.
Yeah,
because they knew ready to shut Starbucks down.
We can get you something made. We'll pay for you.
Exactly.
Made. Yeah, everything's
different. We got a BLM drink for you.
Right.
With the cup.
Yeah,
exactly.
The all black coffee is now called BLM. Yeah,
exactly. But the Jewish community, and I support the Jewish community. I don't want to go out here and be seen as or say that I'm being anti-Semitic. I'm not in any stretch of the imagination. But if you, for a moment, even leaned toward saying something anti-Semitic, the power structure would rain down on you and you would be canceled like that.
Nick Cannon.
Yeah, I'm saying, right. And that's a recent incident where he came out there and talked about who was the first in the originals, and bam, he ran his, you know. Woo! And next thing you know, he like, yeah, I'm sorry, I need a job back, right? He was humbling himself real quick to say, you know, I didn't really mean it that way. He backpedaled real fast because that power structure rained down on him because he was accused of saying something anti-Semitic. And that has been in place for a long time. When the unfortunate events of the George Floyd incident happened, that for a very moment felt like if you said something racist, specifically about black people, that power structure, that cancel culture was raining down on you. And companies were feeling that fear. And so their responses in my mind have always been reactionary, not because they believe in the cause. Because if you go back and you look in these companies now post the George Floyd incident, how many of them have decided to restructure? How many of them have opened up their job opportunities to a wider pool, which would include more candidates that look like us? I'm not saying, because I want to be careful, I'm not saying I want you to hand me a job. Right. I don't want you to give me anything. I want to earn it. I want to be the appropriate candidate, the best candidate, but I want you to give me a fair shot to come in there and try for it.
Right.
And that's the message that I think that we need to be having with companies, but I don't see any movement. I'm trying to look at it from a different generational standpoint because I believe the crux of what's happening now, the movement, the flow, has kind of been taken over by people who are a little younger than I am. You know, some of the individuals such as yourselves out there are looking at me as an old cat to saying, well, you had your chance, brother. Now we're taking the helm. You know, we got this social media, step aside, right? God told me to step aside. Okay. I'm just asking you to talk to me. I'm not telling you I want to lead it. I just want y'all, I'm asking you. Okay. Y'all got the Twitter fingers and the Instagram.
What? God.
I just need to know from you guys, from a millennial.
Well, I'll go first. I say it's mixed emotions because also we see allies out there, and you get the media back and forth. But I think the whole point of the whole thing is to put it in the face of the people of the racism. Basically, put it in the face. We're not taking the back seat no more. We want change now. And question is, how are we going to get change? It's going to take over time. But the only problem is we don't have that much time. When we're dying at a rapid rate from law enforcement, something needs to happen now. Not tomorrow, not a year from now, not when Congress can make it happen. Something has to happen now, immediately. That's how I feel about
it. I agree. I don't want to play the advocate always because this is something I think about. I'm happy we're out there. I'm happy we're doing it. I'm happy it's our generation, this age. The only problem I have with us are inconsistency.
Here we go.
We get on that wave and we're riding it out until, and we don't realize it never fixes. It doesn't fix the problem. Like it's not, like you said, it's not going to happen overnight. It just has to be something really consistent. And as you can see right now, we quiet down a lot.
Woo!
Quiet down a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like we quiet down a lot, and I think that's where my thing comes in. That's just our generation. We want things quick, fast. And even though we want results, but I feel like if we do it too fast, it's not gonna last. Like it's just gonna. Oh, okay. You want to? Okay, we'll fire him for a little while. But okay, you still haven't put anything in place to make sure to train these other ones that this is not going to happen again.
Right.
Because you fired him, okay, you got the other 2,000 that's still. So that is for my generation. That is my desire, that we just be consistent with it. We just like things with as yourself. My father, Dr. Kino, they were consistent with it. Like this is something that, hey, okay, they went years and years. But as you see for us, we do stuff in spurts and waves, and like, oh, okay. They gave it. Oftentimes it becomes a temporary fix, but it's nothing.
It's an 140 characters. Like it's a Twitter search. Right. That's the attention span. That's the attention span right now of and I'm not trying to slam the younger generation.
No, we're not. We're not at all, because I'm a part of it. I'm that same way. I like
stuff.
Right, but it's like, that TikTok. You want a 30-second video and you want the answer at the end.
On to the next one. Slide up.
Okay, yeah, I saw that one. Okay, let me go to the next one. I don't have a TikTok account, so I'm only knowing what I've seen other people do.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't have one either. My daughter's had one. And
all right, I'm guilty. I got it.
I got a 6-year-old who TikToks. I don't have TikTok.
But that's my only thing with it, man. I really want us to be consistent. I want us to have that understanding is, okay, it's not, we're going to have to keep riding this stuff out. There's got to be something consistent, even after we get this guy out of office, and even when the next one come in, like okay, just because he's out, that don't mean we won't.
Yeah.
Like, stuff still got to go to
the same fire.
Yeah. But that's just my thing with us and our generation, man. Like I love the enthusiasm. Like I love it. Like we were out there strong. We were out there strong, and like I was happy to see that.
One thing we didn't do in the late 60s and early 70s is we didn't pass the baton to the next generation. So what happened is they got tired, man. They started to get a little bit of, property, and they started to get, the Civil Rights Act was passed, and things started to calm down a little bit, and the fire got turned down, and just like that happened right now. So they turned the fire down a little bit, and people got comfortable, and then they started having babies, and we had other generational changes, and then we had hope and change. Hope and change came in between 08 and 16. And then, we were out there, Obama, and we thought the world had really changed, and we were being judged on our character, right? And the content of our character, right? But not by the color of our skin. And then the world said, yeah, let me show you
back to reality.
You're getting judged on the color of your skin.
Make it great again.
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying, they gave us a slap across the face and woke us up. So we're now here where I get excited and I'm proud. That's why I'm asking it from a millennial standpoint and, Gen Z, because you guys got the energy. You guys, the future is yours. I'm halfway to, I'm retirement. I'm done. I'm on the other end. So I can't, I'm out there in the struggle. I'm going to be out there in the struggle with you, but I'm not, we're not in a position where our approach is going to be equal to yours. You guys have tools and energy and a knowledge that I don't possess. So we have to rely, but we also have to hand the baton off correctly. We have to support, and one of the key questions that I ask in these conversations, and you sort of answered it, Marcus. You kind of touched on it a lot. As I always ask the question, are we in a moment or a movement?
Man, I'm gonna have to go with a moment. Basically, right now, well, I would say it's not being politicized right now. When everything was going on, it's everything you turned on, BLM this, TV, even games. But if I go right now and turn it on, it's not there no more. It's gone. You on to your regular lives again. So my issue is, what do we have to do to keep our foot on the pedal? It's, I can say all day I want the thing to change, and it can change for a little bit, and it may benefit me and not benefit the other person that's down the street. But we got to have this consistency of saying, all right, we got to get some laws written. We got to change something that's going to put pen and paper to. And how we going to do it? I don't know. We got to, I guess, get to be some, get to the counselors, city council people and stuff like that that really want to make a change, basically.
So why do we anticipate there's going to be a change? Because we walk down the street? Because we had some people go crazy and break some windows? They painted a mural outside of the White House, named it to the Black Lives Matter Plaza.
It wasn't even us that was doing it, actually.
Come on, let's go.
Right.
Let's go, allies.
So that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, the violent stuff, the window breaking and all that stuff wasn't us. Those were people out there trying to damage our reputation.
A bad picture.
Seize the moment. That's what they were trying to
do. They were seizing the moment. And, I'm just still talking about the young people who were in the streets walking down, the main thoroughfare in your city, the people who went downtown and rolled up on, the state buildings. Those people were out there because they believed in the cause.
I see us getting there by doing what we, like you said, for this generation, we have a lot of technology. We have a lot of things accessible to us that previous generations didn't. Like you said, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, it makes noise. It gets their attention. And being that we are pretty much at the bottom, I've seen, a lot of people on Facebook, hey, this company did this, and they share it, and enough people share it, that company responds to it. So my thing is keep using the resources that we have. It's going to eventually work our way up, but again, it goes back to that consistency. I would say, hey, let's at Starbucks again. Hey, y'all still got the same rule, or did y'all go back there and not letting them wear what they want to wear? So, like I said, it goes back to that, not only getting their attention to, hey, make that change, go back and check, hey, y'all still BLM, or y'all change, or it is what it is right now. So I say use the resources we have, be consistent. Again, it's that consistency. Use that resources that we have, like you said, because we're fighting our way up. I feel like you make enough noise, they get your attention. I feel like we use it but it's like we use it for the wrong thing so much.
There you go.
We use it for we put all of our own personal business out there. Like, absolutely. Oh, I'm here. Hey, I'm there. Right. Like, use it to continue to make a change. Like, hey, we're not getting our respect. Yeah, we still not getting our respect. Yeah, okay, I'm about to take a shower. Exactly. Thanks for letting us know. Who cares? Can you check on those things?
You have out the shower. Go back and check. You had pork chops last night. I don't even know you had pork chops, right? Come on, bro.
Yeah, like we get it. Right. Where did you get that pork chop from? Did you went to Food Line and got it?
But did you ask Food Line, do they have any black people in management?
Right. Thank you. The brother cleaning the floor, or is he running it? Like, that's the question that we should ask. Who got the right. That's the thing. But like you said, like we, use our resources for the right thing rather than throwing subliminals at each other, like letting people know everything. Like, use what we have to our advantages.
How we're perceived. And we do have to work twice as hard. We do have to, be polished when we go into meetings. We do have to, I don't want to say, you gotta exceed their expectation, because they already have a low expectation because they have not been shown anything other than negative images of people of color. So when you walk in the store, you know, the first thing they're thinking like, oh my God. And then if you can formulate a complete sentence, they're like, wow, you can speak. Well, what did you expect me to come in here sound like? You know, I mean, you know.
So Trav, this is my question to you, and probably so like in that case like that, where I always have I have this discussion with friends of mine who they feel like, you know, they should be able to go in and look however they want to look and still be respected. But like my thing is like I can't go to my job, corporate job,
right,
with a t-shirt on and still expect to be respected.
Well, that goes back to our original conversation about you don't own the business, right? You don't make the decisions, right? All right. So again, I take it from an HR perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you slid your resume across my desk or sent it to me in the inbox, and it had all of your qualifications on it, your work history, and it told me that you can do all these things within the IT spectrum. You had all the certification. You give me some references and I can speak to your previous employers and some personal references, and they give me glowing reviews on you. Why do I need to talk to you? I got all your information, right? So there's no need for me to see you, right? I should be able to hire you based on what's on paper, right? No. So I need you to come into that building and sit before me. Why? Or get on a video call with me. Why? Because I want to see if you can play the game. Can you come in here and put your best foot forward? And can you acclimate yourself professionally? And would you be a fit for our organization and the image in which we want to present? Now, that's regardless of color. Now, you get people from Silicon Valley who believe they can go to work in, flip-flops, T-shirts, and, they don't care because they're working in the IT world, and that's the way they live out there. Mark Zuckerberg probably never put a tie on until the company went public. Right. When the company went public, then he put a tie on because he had to play the game with public money now with the stock market. So, but you see what I'm saying? Because he used to have T-shirts and jeans in his closet. That was all he had, right? So, and you now let me give you another case. My wife works for a university as well, and she's a director at a university, and in the school she deals with the School of Business, and a lot of the individuals that she's they're grooming and teaching and educating and trying to prepare them to go out there into the business world are young. They're the Gen Zs coming up, right? And some millennials. But the fashion has changed from what business attire once was. A standard suit has now changed into slim fits, leggings. Leggings with no socks and high water pants with loafers on.
With the hole in the thighs part.
Right. I'm just saying. So the what is considered to be fashion forward thinking is now impeding their progress because they want to have that same mentality that they want to come into a business interview or be in a business school and think that, well, I'm young. This is how we dress now. I'm going to wear the shirt that is too tight. And it's symmetrically not going to match anything because I want to have mixed matching things. I just want to go. My hair don't have to be combed, because that's the style we wear.
Or of a natural color. Or a natural
color, right? Yeah. I want to go in there. My glasses got little lights going around it. That's all right. I'm just me. I want to come in there. I want them to hire me for me. I haven't shaven my beard or trimmed it up, and 6 years because I want to see how long I had a dude braid.
We thought about that, Mark.
You know what I'm saying?
We talked about that.
Right. So
I got to clean up before I get back to work.
Right. But I'm just saying that this is what and once you get the job, then there's things that you can change. But if the if the environment is saying, hey, this is the way we put it out there, to assume that you don't have to follow those norms, those social norms, is ludicrous to me. And this is where I want to transition to the conversation about our community taking accountability for their own actions.
Got to.
Because we're sitting here and the whole lead up to this conversation and everything is about what everybody else needs to do. Everybody else needs to do make it better for us. What the heck are we doing for ourselves to make it better for us?
Exactly.
And that's what I want to ask you guys. Where's the accountability coming? Where do we need to start being more accountable?
For me, and like I said, again, I don't condone anything, but I feel like sometimes, and I've seen it experience of wherever, like if you get stopped by a cop, ask you, hey, can I see your ID, your driver's license? You know you're speeding. Why you want to see my license? Because you're speeding. You're speeding. Like, I need to make sure.
Let the man do his job.
Let the man do his job. Especially if you got, especially if it's 2020 and your tax from 2017. He has a right. He has a right to stop you. But no, for real. But like, he has legit. So it's like, at that point, like, I mean, he's not doing anything. He's doing his job. So I feel like don't make it hard. I feel like in that point of some part, we got to take accountability. You know you're wrong. If he say, hey, license or whatever, you just doing that because I'm black. Nah, I'm doing it because it's the law. You're breaking the law.
Because you're wrong. Right.
You're wrong. I feel like at some point, we got to take accountability. Like, and I feel like some stuff can be avoided with that. Just, hey, own up to it. I think sometimes we make things harder on ourselves because we know we're wrong. We don't like being wrong.
Right. I give you a real example. He gonna be mad. I put him on blast. He called me and said, "Yo, I just got pulled over," and I said, "Okay." He said, "Yeah, but I'm gonna have you on the phone." And I said, "Okay, you're on the phone." And he goes, "Yeah." In our state, they had granted drivers an extension on expired documentation for the vehicles and licenses, right? So you got a 5-month extension. And so I said, "Oh," he said, "Yeah, don't I get a 5-month extension on my stuff?" And I'm like, "You do, but it depends." And he goes, "What?" I said, "So when did your stuff expire?" And he was like, "January." I was like, "January?" Like, yo, COVID didn't kick in until March. Like, no, son, it's June. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, and the cop is rolling up. He's like, "Yeah, And I'm like, "Nah, you wrong, son." I just said that, like, "You wrong. You wrong." And he was like, "Really?" Like, "Yeah, you're wrong." And the cop was like, "Yeah." The first thing the cop said was like, "Yes, sir. That doesn't apply to you. COVID didn't come into March."
You was already out.
And I was like, he had a phone, and I'm like, "Yeah, she's right. You're wrong." But they gave him a warning. But the point is, like, don't call and try to get called out. No, you're wrong. You can't tell me that your tag expired in January. That's COVID related. You slipped.
Unless you was in China, and you weren't in China, so
right. So I'm just saying, and that's real though. But I'm saying it's talking about
go off like that though, man. Like go
off.
Hey, you wrong.
We see people.
The problem with that is what happens is we have that interaction with the cops, and we don't start recording until you feel like the cops in the wrong. Like, no, you wrong, but you didn't record it in time.
Yeah,
so we're all like, what happened?
Right. You just
what happened to the first part? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you edited the part out that you called him all kind of names.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, yo, you they just recording you hitting, the cop hitting you, but we missed a whole section where you took the man gun and knocked him out. Like,
right.
And specifically, my brother and one of my cousins had asked me to talk when I talked to you guys, to ask specifically about that illusion where that it depends on the version of events that truly happen. So when we talk about the Mr. Floyd, your generation's seeing a public lynching for the first time. And it was unquestioned that this was actually a lynching. Yet you got to watch it from the beginning to the end. You saw the malice in which it was done. You saw the fact that Mr. Floyd was not resisting at the time, that he was respectful, and there was no gray area that this was wrong. And that's why the world got outraged. So, you know, I was then asked, well, what about Philando Castile? What about Sandra Bland? What about Trayvon Martin? What about Eric Garner? Right? And I said, my response was, there was always a gray. Not that those deaths weren't tragic, and we truly believe, at least I truly believe from the bottom of my heart, that they were wrongfully killed. But the narrative, they threw a question mark on every single one of them. I was told to ask, do you guys see those deaths in the same way that you saw Mr. Floyd's death?
I want to go. I could say maybe a few. I feel that were the same, like with the Castile when he had his permit and everything like that for the firearm. Right. But it's always ways you have to go with that. You know, with the heightness of everything going on. With Eric Garner, you know, he was only selling cigarettes.
Again, so I'm asking, was it as clear cut as you seeing the George Floyd thing?
I would say no. Not as clear cut as the George Floyd. My opinion would be, you know, how we saw it play out from beginning to end, where they were trying to put him in the car for this is George Floyd. Somehow where he got out of the car and then to what happened led to his death. Not as clear cut as everybody else's, and which, you know, I truly believe those guys, like you said earlier, was, you know, wrongly killed. Let them get to court. Work it out in court. What happens to that part? But that's besides the point. But yes, to my point is, I believe, you know, it wasn't as clear cut as George Floyd.
My opinion, I think they all were. Clear cut, especially the, you know, one of them that you mentioned was Trayvon Martin. You're not even a cop, you're a citizen. You have no reason.
But you weren't there,
like me now,
right?
Huh?
But you weren't there. It wasn't videoed, and we're taking the word of the guy who shot, because Trayvon couldn't defend himself, right?
Yeah.
So we only got one, so there was a question mark, right?
Yeah.
Right, that's we could, okay. Let me ask you. I'll give you another example. So did OJ Simpson? Is OJ Simpson guilty?
Let's not go to OJ.
The reason I'm saying
it OJ said if the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
But he's acquitted, right? But do we think there's a question mark, right?
Yeah,
on both sides.
He did it.
Right, there's a question mark. We all believe he did it. I mean, come on, deep down inside, we know he got away with it, but we all know he did it.
Woo!
Right?
Then you write the book, if I did it.
Right.
How stupid.
So he flaunted it in everybody's face, and then, you know, he got away with it. And then that was tragic. People, and I watched that trial from beginning to end. And the reason I bring that up was because, you know, white America was angry at Black America's response. Our response to the OJ verdict was not that he got away with murder, because deep down inside, we believe he got away with murder. However, we wanted to illustrate how corrupt the system was, that if you had enough money and you can get lawyers that were slick enough, or you can get lawyers at all, you can literally get away with murder. Which he did. And we like, see, you know, for the first time, a Black man got away with murder because, you know, he had money. And to me, when it looks at, again, if you could throw a question mark on all of these tragic deaths, you know, you got Michael Brown running down the street, gets shot in the back. You got Sandra Bland, who had a tail light out, right? And they take her into custody. She dies in prison. You know, so when you got Philando Castile, who says, yes, I have a weapon. He's got his family in the car with him. He's just sitting there, you know, and he don't do anything and get shot. So But does the video show everything? Does the video see his hand drop? Does the video show that he could have looked at the guy like he was sizing him up? Like I'm about, we don't know.
Right.
With Eric Garner,
right.
In that case, yeah. That one was clearly clear cut. We saw that.
And that's why I think the world was stunned by the unfortunate killing of Mr. Floyd, because there's generations, you guys have never seen. You don't watch the civil rights. I mean, you might see a clip here and there about what happened in the 60s, what happened in the 70s. You've not really talked to people or seen people with the bullwhip scars on their back, or the bite mark scars from dogs attacking them. And we haven't seen an assassination in this country, since X. Who's the last notable person that was assassinated? It's been a while. And then when you start seeing, you got all these questionable deaths, and then boom, you really watch this dude with malice sitting there with his hand in his pocket and looking at you like, what are you gonna do? That shook the world.
Yeah.
And to me, that is what generated escalated this movement. Because I think the Black Lives Matter movement was there and it was moving, but it had lost steam and then it got reinvigorated, and now it could be potentially losing steam again. And I would hate for that to happen. And to me, I think the movement needs to continue.